In August of 2019, the most insane coaster the world has ever seen was revealed. In one day, everything we thought we knew about coasters was shattered. I think we were all in shock. But with that shock came a lot of skeptics, myself included. It just didn't seem feasible in any way that a coaster this massive, this fast, and this long could ever exist. Pretty much nothing has changed about people's thoughts since that day. But now, it's looking like Falcon's flight could actually become reality. Let's revisit the craziest coaster of all time and see what's up with this. So yeah, this thing is pretty wonky and insane, especially in the original animation. 500-foot airtime hills with super tight crests and unbanked turns at 150 miles per hour? Yeah, right. Looking back at the announcement, I don't know what the park was thinking. I guess it appeals to the public because Ooga Booga Extreme, but even the average person could tell you that Falcon's flight just isn't realistic. The park as a whole had some very ambitious things going on, with another one of the coasters in the concept art being a tilt coaster with a twisted drop. Like, what? Who thinks of that? Apparently, engineers in Saudi Arabia. Before seeing what Falcon's flight looks like now, let's check out the original layout of the most stupid coaster ever seen. The animation starts with a pretty sick looking Falcon train climbing the lift hill. The only really thuzy complaint from this is the over-the-shoulder restraints that can be spotted if you look closely. Also, can we just respect how the SNS drop tower in the back just stops? Anyway, Falcon's flight. You reach the top of the lift and launch over the top at 60 miles per hour or something, so yeah, ejector is pretty cool, am I right? That's like the weakest moment on the ride. You take an extremely sharp bank into a left-hand turn that unbanks mid-turn before flying into a speed hill. Yes, a speed hill directly after a 400-foot or something drop. The speed hill sends you flying into another unbanked turn and the best airtime moment yet. A seemingly frictionless airtime hill with a crest that looks like Maverick's airtime hill, one that is taken at about 100 miles per hour slower. A lot more speed hills and unbanked turns later, you pull up into a very tight valley to begin the ascent to the top of the cliff. What? A cliff? Iron Rattler who? Apparently this cliff portion is actually going to be part of the ride, so whoa, but we'll get to that later. You take 3 very slow unbanked turns, but you won't notice the speed of them since you'll already be dead. After the turns you plunge, or rather launch, back down the cliffside and into a tunnel. The train then shoots up a massive airtime hill that may be the tallest element on the ride. Pulling out of this airtime hill, the train rockets through an unbanked turn where you pass over a racetrack? Next is... what the heck? You step up into an inversion, more specifically an Immelman. In a coaster only focused on fatal airtime and laterals up to this point, an inversion looks very out of place. Keep in mind the train is rocketing through these 100-ish foot tall elements at like 100 miles per hour too, so take that as you will. Following the Immelman is an element I love to see, just not here. This is an inclined loop with the worst track profiling I have ever seen. I know this is just an animation, but how can I not make fun of this stupid thing? You hit one more airtime hill in an unbanked turn that magically slows the train down before finishing the ride by sliding back into the station. There's no one alive on that train, let's be real. So, if you can't survive the coaster, how is it going to exist? Well, short answer, it probably won't. Long answer, this animation is horrendous. The elements make no sense, they're shaped horribly, and almost every single element would exert organ-crushing forces on your body. So then, what will the actual Falcon's flight look like? Who knows? All we know is that there will be 2.5 miles, or 13,200 feet, or 4 kilometers of track. We know that the max height will be 525 feet, or 160 meters, and we know that the max speed will be 155 miles per hour, or 250 kilometers per hour. Finally, we know that Intamin will be designing and building it, so, have fun with that, Six Flags Qiddiya. Intamin doesn't exactly have the best track record with massive coasters, but I guess I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say that Falcon's flight will have no downtime or any issues at all. Yeah, I can't even fool myself. Even though we only know stats, I still went to take a stab at what I think Falcon's flight will look like, so I made a little something in No Limits too. The stats aren't perfect, but a 500-foot tall coaster is kinda hard, so yeah. I tried to stay to what looks like the pathing as much as possible, but the animation is pretty vague, so that was also hard. With all of that said, here's what I got. So, yeah, Falcon's Flight is pretty much the craziest coaster ever planned to be built, and possibly the stupidest as well. To be honest, I think they'll try to make something happen with it, but I wouldn't be surprised if the park as a whole flops, and this stupidly expensive investment just becomes scraps. Because in the end, it's in Saudi Arabia, and it's just another coaster I'll never actually be able to ride. If you are enough of a Thuzy to ride it, that's awesome, and you really deserve the Thuzy title to the extreme. That's it for my revisit to Falcon's Flight, the world's tallest, fastest, and longest coaster not yet built. If you enjoyed and want the algorithm to help me out in the future, leave a like on the video and subscribe for more like this whenever I decide to upload again. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Also, this whole video is about Falcon's Flight at Worlds of Fun.